Alright, all y'all, it is time to film a Will I Buy It? Because contrary to me constantly crapping on new makeup releases, there are actually and occasionally things that I really want. Whether I can afford them or not, whether they're cruelty-free or not, that's subjective. But we're going to talk about some of the things that are at least new now as of filming. It's not in my hands whether they're new or released or whatever by the time this goes up. But we're just gonna go on in and talk about some of those new things, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the really aesthetically pleasing. Hello y'all and welcome back to my channel. Okay, let's kick it right off the bat with something that a lot of y'all have been tagging me and showing me, girl, boy, asking me if I'm gonna get. And if the financial whateverness is good, yes, I'm gonna get it. But that is the Manny MUA, I don't even care what it's called, spookiness collection. But I mean, y'all, I have been asking for this for forever. I'm like, forget holiday, forget Thanksgiving, forget Christmas. Where's the spooky makeup? And Manny MUA, who in all honesty, I feel like we would be pretty good friends if we actually, you know, followed in the same circles. Cause he likes Sailor Moon, he likes fantasy, he likes spooky stuff, I'm down. And although some people were kind of like, about the color scheme because the outer packaging is glorious, and you open it inside and see the way my brain works, the way my neurons firing. The little pastel goth in me is looking at those colors and be like, have an all black wardrobe, have a little bit of something going on in the hair, and then we play matchy with the shadows. I'm down. I'm already foreseeing what I would want to do with that palette. He's got a lip gloss. I love his lip gloss formula. He's got 2 liquid lipsticks, which I love his liquid lipstick formula. There's a black, which I'm super excited to try. And then there's a red. I understand aesthetically, but if you look back on his collections, there's something Manny loves to release, it's a red lipstick. So that's definitely something I am super interested in. If I'm able to grabby financially, hopefully a review will ensue. Then sort of tail ending into something of the similar aesthetic. A couple of y'all have been tagging me in this as well, and that is the, oh my goodness, who is it with? It was a collaboration from MAC with someone, and it's all tarot card themed and astrological, and those highlighters with they're gonna be prismatic shifty shades. They've got that embossed. MAC is not cruelty free. If they were cruelty free, that whole thing would be mine. Just aesthetically and everything. The eyeshadow palette looks boring as frig, but it's one of those things where you're like, am I really buying it for the eyeshadows or am I buying it to satisfy my spooky aesthetic? Definitely the latter. But unfortunately, because they are not cruelty-free, your girl cannot partake and indulge, so Manny MUA, cruelty-free, Lunar Beauty, all that jazz. Then something that like is, well, like I said, I don't know whether this stuff's gonna be new, out, or available, whatever, but something I saw, and that is kimchi, as well as it's like being created by, it's like not a collaboration with NYX, but NYX is creating it. But it is her own makeup line. Now, it looks like some of the products are being released, some of the products they show in the picture are being released, and then there are obviously gonna be future launches. What your girl is interested in is those little kitschy Polly Pocket heart-shaped compacts that will hopefully contain blush and highlighter. I'm not really into liquid eyeshadow, the palette, you know, most of the whatevers didn't really do much for me, but if there's one thing I love to do, it's test out new blush and highlighter formulas. So when those drop, hopefully at some point, I will be very interested in picking those up. Y'all know, I love me drag queens. And I love Kimchi. She's absolutely stunning. I love just the aesthetic of her overall look. It's very appealing to me, and it'll be exciting to see what she comes out with on a whole. Then something several of y'all had been tagging me in and doing all that jazz and calling my attention to, though I feel for somewhat comedic purposes. This horrible, sad, depressing tragedy of a palette, which just no. The Kat Von D Lolita Por Vida. Y'all, I think myself, as well as some other Kat Von D lovers, people who have been with her aesthetic from the beginning, have been waiting for the comeback. We're like, all right, so look, she's had all this, she's whatever, she's laying low, something big is gonna happen. I certainly hope that she does not think that her return to the makeup community will be achieved by this. Y'all, if this were released by any other brand, I would trash it as well, because it is a completely, I mean, basically it's her shade and light palette with some shimmers, which we have the shimmer, shade, and light palette, so why do we need this? Because it's banking on the Lolita. When the smaller Lolita palette, just 1 second, when this was released, we were all kind of, I feel, because she had been teasing and discussing a Lolita palette for a very long time. And when this came out, we were just kind of, you know, it's pretty, it's nice, it's okay, but it could have been so much more. And this Lolita Por Vida is not it. No, no. Don't even get me started on those, like, bigger shimmer shades that are probably going to be, oh, well, these are best applied with your finger. I think the layout of the palette looks ugly. I just, you look at it and you're, I mean, it is like, without even trying the formula, looking at this, seeing what she has done with the Lolita theme and put it into existence is disappointing. Like, you're not mad, you're not sad, you're just a disappointed parent wishing that their troubled child would make better choices for themselves. Just, no, I had a couple of y'all that were like, please, please buy it and roast it. And I'm like, I would love to do that. That would be great. It would probably get views, but I'm not in the whatever of buying palettes just to roast. But I'm sorry, it is so ugly, disappointing. I mean, the tones, they don't even look beautiful in red tone. They just look like brown, which I got. I got brown. I got brown from her. I just, no on that Lolita palette. You know right now, that thing, it's gonna, like, if that's her holiday palette, if that's what she's releasing for holiday, shame on her. That thing's gonna, it ain't gonna go nowhere, and then they're gonna have to slice the price in half, make it a weekly wow, make it a holiday deal to try to move those units out of the warehouse. Next one is something that I kind of keep harping on. A couple of y'all were like, oh, look at this. And I was like, I love you guys, but why are you showing me this shiz? This little Too Faced thingy. I mean, I would feel a little less personally offended if they had, like, this had been the only thing they released for holiday, which is something Too Faced will never do. They're like, we have to release 1,000 things. But if they'd taken this and made it whatever, and those cute little components with the cute little face, if they were like, okay, let's make it out of some actual nice quality, like their tin palettes and stuff like that, instead of it was just gold lameade cardboard, which it is, and it's not even like, you know, this is essentially cardboard, but it's not even the same kind of quality as this cardboard. It's a lighter, not as densely pressed, just kind of a flimsy, gonna fall apart in like 6 months cardboard. And I don't know about anyone else, but whenever it comes to that, like, a really thin cardboard that's got like that gold leaf striping, I'm just automatically turned off. I'm like, no, that gives me no joy. So that's just kind of beating a dead horse, but I'm just like, if you'd put more thought into it and you'd actually tried to make the componentry viable, maybe I wouldn't be as upset, but you didn't, so we're here. Then something that a bunch of y'all, I feel like this is the will I buy it, where y'all are like tagging me, being like, look at this, look at this, look at this, which is great. I love that. The interaction is phenomenal, but y'all need to stop recommending stuff to me because I'm like, gotta buy it all. But the Coty Airspun Loose Highlighters, because y'all know I love a highlighter. I have gotten over my, like, fear of loose whateverness, because I love me them Wet n Wild ones. I love me the Juvia's Place. Yeah, the loose highlighters are a thing now in my life. And these look so nice. I mean, aside from the fact that they're gonna be affordable, they're done by the same people that does that super famous translucent powder. They're gonna be affordable, they're gonna be huge if they're the same friggity fracking container size. You ain't never gonna run out of that shiz. But unfortunately, they are not cruelty-free. It's sad, it's depressing, I know. I had to move the powder out of my collection because, you know, it was gonna take me forever to use up. And I'm like, if I'm gonna use up a powder, I'm gonna use up something that's cruelty-free, and powder lasts forever. So I was super interested in these. I saw them and I was like, oh, they're gonna be so pretty. The shades look super nice, and if they're as finely milled and nice as their powder, they'll be beautiful. Definitely let me know if you've gotten them and if they're like phenomenal. I'm totally missing out. Let me live vicariously through your purchase. Okay, let's address sort of the elephant in the room that I feel is going to be a product in a lot of people's like, will I buy it in this time period? But the yet to be revealed Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson collaboration. We've seen the pig mirror. I'm buying it. I don't need it. I have a Jeffree Star handheld mirror that I don't use now. But as someone who has been watching Shane Dawson since I was like 16, I am 110% down with this. I am going to do a whole video kind of, I don't know if it's going to be after the series is complete, but I'm just going to kind of talk about my thoughts on the series and whatever, and discuss, you know, why I kind of have soft spots for Shane and Jeffree, because like I said, I've literally been listening to them for like half of my life. But yeah, definitely gonna buy it. Kind of don't even care what it is. I want it. Then something that like, I'm kind of like, yeah, okay, that's great, but on the other side, I'm like, why? Y'all know, or most of y'all probably know, Hourglass, just about every year, I think they've been doing it for 4 years now, they release a hideously overpriced ambient lighting something palette. They're usually like $80 or something like that. They're cult classics, people collect them, it's a thing. And usually I'm just like, you know, I'm typically not here for little faint somethings, which is kind of what Hourglass does, except for that one palette that I didn't buy that everybody loves that they won't bring back. But they were like, let's release a blush palette as well as the 6-pan whatever, and let's get all like ghost and spooky themed. I'm like, yeah. And then you open it up and you see this like, you got the little whatever, and then you look in and you're like, oh, wow. Cheap Tupperware. Ghost, apparently the aesthetic that they think of is cheapy looking translucent plastic, which, you know, they've done the marble and the shiny, and it's basically all plastic and overpriced, and now it just looks bad. I mean, it's got 4 blushes. I love their blush formula. I wish I could have more. They're just pricey. But I'm like, who saw that finished product and was like, yes, this totally represents our super overpriced, bougie, luxury brand aesthetic. It's like Hourglass is all like the Audrey Hepburn whateverness, but now with this palette, we're like Karen asking to speak to the manager. I'm probably not gonna buy it. I just thought it was kind of funny because you're like, oh, pretty, whatever. And then you're like, oh, a little bit of inconsistency there, Hourglass. Then if we're gonna talk about something, we might as well talk about something that, like, I don't want to say it offends me because I actually don't offend easily. Typically when I say it offends me, it's more when I see it on my phone or my computer, it just kind of makes my face do this. And if there is something I love, especially in the cooler whatever months, it is scented candles. I love smelly candles, especially ones that smell like something I would like to eat, like cupcake, cake batter, pumpkin pie, buttercream, gingerbread. I'm down. And I don't even know where it's available, or if it's available, or why it's available. But Kim Kardashian decided, I'm gonna take my fragrances and press them into wax and make them into a candle and sell them to people. I don't need makeup from Kim KW. I don't need perfume from Kim KW. And I definitely don't need a smelly candle from Kim KW. I'm just like, Why is this even a thing? Like when you're scrolling through the whole like new beauty news, you're like, okay, all right, eyeshadow, lipstick, whatever, candle. And I understand it's smelly and it's lifestyle and everything like that, but it's like, why? Why is it even that, like, why? I'm sorry. I get excited over Bath and Body Works releasing their whatevers. I can't anymore because they're not cruelty free, but this does absolutely nothing for me. I'm like, great, the billionaire is marketing her perfume in a lifestyle candle type thing. It just does nothing for me. And yes, it's, you know, from her brand and she's a beauty brand, but it's a... I almost cursed, I almost swore. But it's a flipping candle, y'all! And overpriced at that. Go to Walmart, get you a smelly candle. Then last but not least, Nikita Dragun of Dragun Beauty, which is a brand that I've never ascribed to Nikita. Nothing personal, just not my thing. And her brand, I was like, okay, she released a concealer and a whatever and all that jazz, and I'm like, okay, no, I'm good. And then she released a palette that caused everyone to lose their minds, because I will admit, it's all like, ooh, we're gonna make this palette, woo, it's gonna be revolutionary, woo! And it's, you know, 2 contours, 2 blushes, and 2 highlighters, and I can understand where she's coming from, because she's saying, you know, these are shades that I use in my everyday life, my everyday transformation, and I think that's great. I mean, Nikita is a new brand that's starting out. I'm not quite sure what people are expecting, but I do think people are sort of overlooking kind of like the whole, you know, she's creating products that she would use that, you know, are inspired by how she does her makeup, and I think that's really cool. Maybe the presentation of the products is kind of lame, and maybe they do look a little wah, wah, wah. But I don't think it's anywhere near as like, ah, as everyone brings it out to be. I mean, unless people release like a blush palette or whatever palette of like puce shades, everyone kind of just like, you know, if it isn't anything that's like, see, this is where the controversy is. Whenever it comes to new makeup and all of us as consumers, if we see something that's like in the mainstream, we're all like, huh, boring, peasant makeup. And then if we see something that's like a little bit crazy, a little bit out of the box, we're then all like, oh, that's too much. Oh my goodness, who would wear that? Who are they marketing to? It's like we can't be happy. We can't be satisfied. It's like there's like no middle ground. And I feel like we oftentimes forget the makeup, the consumerism, the brands and everything, and people who use it, it ain't all one size fits all. Cause my mom, I'm gonna be doing makeup for my mom on my brother's wedding, and you know, she gonna wear it, but she ain't gonna have none of this. So there are those that like the whateverness and those who don't. And it's like, just buy what you like and stop crapping on people for creating things just because you're not gonna use them, which is kind of what we do in anti-hauls and will I buy it. What can I say? Negativity sells. But that's gonna be all the things I am talking about today. Obviously, these are always going to be a thing that I will bring about on my channel in the foreseeable future. I can do the speak. Let me know what you think about the products down below, and let me know something that you're like, I'm totally anti-hauling it, or something you're like, yes, get in my cart now. Because I love hearing the things that you guys are excited about, as well as your recommendations to me. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and as always, keep it real. Mwah!